What if the biggest financial mistake in America isn't renting forever, but buying a house too early? For 60 years, you've been told the same story. Buy a home, build equity, never throw your money away on rent. It's practically a national religion. But here's the uncomfortable question almost nobody runs the numbers on. What if the house isn't the wealth-building machine you think it is, and the real engine was sitting somewhere else the entire time? Today, we're going to simulate your financial life for 20 years, two different ways, and see exactly where your money goes.
Homeownership got baked into your psyche for real reasons. A fixed-rate mortgage is forced savings. The government subsidizes it through tax deductions. And for the generation that bought in the 1980s and 90s, prices mostly went one direction, up. So the advice calcified into a rule. Rent is dead money. Buying is wealth. But that rule formed in a world with cheaper homes, lower price-to-income ratios, and a very different rate environment. The question isn't whether buying can build wealth. It's whether it builds more wealth than the alternative for you. And almost nobody actually tests that. So let's test it.
It's you, 25 years old. Starting salary, $65,000. Net worth, $0. Standard story, standard city, standard starter home price of $400,000. You've saved exactly enough for a 20% down payment, $80,000. Now you're standing at two paths. Path A, you buy the $400,000 house, put 20% down, take a 30-year mortgage at a realistic 7% rate. Path B, you keep renting a comparable place, invest your $80,000 immediately into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, and invest the monthly difference between your rent and what homeownership would actually cost you. Same income, same lifestyle, same starting point. The only variable that changes is where your money goes. Here's where most people stop doing math too early. Your mortgage payment is not your housing cost. It's one line item. On your $320,000 loan, the principal and interest alone run about $2,129 a month. Add property taxes, around 1.1% of home value annually, roughly $370 a month. Add homeowner's insurance, call it $125 a month. Add maintenance and repairs, conservatively budgeted at 1% of home value a year, another $330 a month. Total real cost of owning that house, close to $2,950 a month, not $2,129. Then there's the cost nobody puts on your spreadsheet, the opportunity cost of your $80,000 down payment. Money sitting in a house isn't compounding in the stock market for you. That's the quiet trade you're making, whether you realize it or not. Now picture Path B. You rent a comparable home for about $2,200 a month to start, with rent rising roughly 3% a year. Inflation, basically. That's already several $100s a month cheaper than owning. You take that gap plus the $80,000 you never used as a down payment and put all of it into a diversified index fund averaging 8 to 9% a year, the long-run historical average of the U.S. stock market. No stock picking, no timing the market, just consistency. This is the version of you almost nobody makes a YouTube video about because it looks boring. Boring, it turns out, is the point.
Let's check in on your numbers every 5 years. Year 5. Your home value has appreciated at a realistic 3.5% to about $475,000. But your mortgage balance has barely moved. Only about $19,000 paid down because early payments are mostly interest. Your home equity, roughly $174,000. Meanwhile, your portfolio, the $80,000 lump sum plus 5 years of invested rent savings, sits around $178,000. You're basically tied. Open loop, which path pulls ahead for you? Year 10. Your house is worth about $564,000. Your equity has grown to roughly $290,000. Your portfolio, compounding quietly with no drama, has reached approximately $336,000. You're now ahead by about $46,000 in the investor scenario, and the gap is accelerating. Year 15, Your home equity, about $433,000. Your portfolio, approximately $592,000. Your lead as the renter-investor has more than tripled in 5 years. This is compounding doing what compounding does, invisibly, then suddenly. Year 20, your home value has climbed to roughly $796,000. After 2 decades of payments, you finally own most of it. Equity around $613,000. Your portfolio? Approximately $1 million. After 20 years, identical income, identical lifestyle, one decision about where your money flows, if you rented and invested consistently, you end up with roughly $390,000 more than if you'd bought. That's not a rounding error. That's a different financial life for you. An earlier retirement, a paid-off future, options. Why? 2 forces work against the house the entire time. First, your $80,000 down payment never gets to compound in a higher return asset for 20 years. Second, real estate's 3 to 4% average appreciation simply can't outpace the stock market's long-run 8 to 9% average, even after you account for leverage on the mortgage. Buying the house wasn't a bad decision, it just wasn't the best one for your net worth, mathematically.
Here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Your portfolio only hits $1 million because you actually invest the difference every single month for 20 years without skipping, panic selling, or spending it on something else. In real life, most renters don't do that. The money that would have gone toward a down payment quietly leaks into a nicer car, a vacation, a higher rent than you actually need. The house, for a lot of people, isn't really a wealth tool. It's a forced discipline mechanism because you can't not pay your mortgage without losing your home. So the honest conclusion isn't renting beats buying. It's this. The asset was never the point. Your behavior was. A house with a paid mortgage beats an empty brokerage account every time. But if you're a disciplined investor, you beat almost everyone, house or no house. The real wealth builder in your